Hi everyone, today I'm moving on to Power BI. I came across something today that is really useful. It is quite a high level video about Power BI and how we can use external tools to model our Power BI models. So, if you're not into Power BI, then this isn't the right video for you. But I came across it, and because it was so complicated, I thought it would be a good idea for me to consolidate my knowledge by doing a video and showing you all of the mistakes I made in order to get to the point where I was able to produce this video and get the whole thing working. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump across and look at what the prize is and whether or not it's actually worth fighting for. So now we're just going to look at my screen in a moment. Okay, so I've got a really simple Power BI report here. All it is a report that enables me to, it's only got a few tables, and it shows off the Power Apps for Kids content so that people can link out to consume them. It's only got 3 tables, but what you can see is the tables are linked to each other. In fact, there's 4 tables, and there's actually only 2 measures. In fact, there's only 1 measure, in fact, but that's not really what I'm actually trying to show you. I'm just trying to show you that it's a simple Power BI report here, but the trick here is that using this ability to model the do a data model and look at the queries, we've got some amazing insights that we can have into essentially documenting our model. But you'll see in a moment that this can be done, almost at the click of a few buttons. But there are some things that you need to be aware of. So the first thing is to say, well, actually, I didn't write this. This was done by Data Marc. His surname is. So I'm just going to jump onto his website, but he's done a fantastic job. In fact, I click onto here, and this will take me off to his website eventually. In fact, I need to control click because I'm not on the web. So he put together, I don't know how much he did of this, but this external tools is really, really new. And so he put together something which allowed us to connect Power BI to external tools. He has built an external tool that is able to look inside our model and express it to us. So he did the Power BI report that expresses what we have. So I'm going to jump back to that Power BI report I'm going to jump onto, first of all, look at the table and the column structure. So it means what I can do is I can click on this and I can actually see the expression, the M expression that was used to create it, which I think is amazing. Now this is actually, this uses the Common Data Service. So there's kind of interesting things going in there. In fact, you can see the organization name, etc., etc. So I'll have to take that out later on. But there's lots of kind of cool things that you can see in there. You can see the measure expressions as well. There's actually only 1 measure in there. Obviously, in a big report, you'd see quite a lot of measures, but you'd be able to filter through them, etc., etc. But you can also see the relationships between the tables, but the way in which they are expressed is quite cool. So it's done with this graphic here, and it really does actually work. So the thing is, how do you make it? Now, I want to show you, I want to inspire before I get you to actually build this. So the first thing to say is I'm actually just going to kill this. You can actually see it's untitled. I've not even saved it before. So I'm just going to kill this one here and go on to my, my actual Power BI report, if I can actually find it. So pop that up. Now, what I need to do is to go to external tools, and then I need to click on document model. So what we're actually going to do is go through the process of documenting this model, and it's really cool because it's really quick. So I click document model out. Unfortunately, you didn't see down below there was a screen that came up, and it was just it ran a PowerShell script that I don't know, I think it just connects to this model here in a way that allows this thing to express itself. Now what it's going to do is it is launching the Power BI template that has been put into the right place. It actually goes into the C temp file, but I want to show you that shortly. Now, unfortunately, I am off screen at this point in time, so you can't see the next thing that's going to go on, but I'm going to do my best to get it on screen. So what we have is I'm being asked now, I don't know if I can, oh, you can move on. So I'm being asked, it's actually fired up Power BI on the other screen, but I don't think I can move it, no. But it's asking me to do it into folder C temp, temp, and then make sure you do the / and then click on load. So when I do the load, I think down below it's going to ask me one more question. It's now going through the loading process. Now, quite often it asks me another question at this point, and that's how I want to connect to the data. So it might well ask me this very shortly. We'll see that, but if not, it is actually expressed and it's actually doing it now. It looks like it's actually quite happy, but do be careful. There is a screen that comes on around about this point, and you need to go to the Windows authentication at that point in time in order to get your model to come up. But this one's actually just going to build it. It's just building it on the fly, so it's just going to put it all in, and I'm going to need to move it from my other screen up onto this screen so that you can see what's going on. So it's just about there. It's not happy with me because I'm moving it and it wants to just sort of load itself up. And if I click on here, I should be able to get a full screen view. Okay, so this is normal Power BI report, and it's now showing me, we're back to where we were before, where we can, it just shows you that you can actually kind of document your model, and it was only a few clicks. And that is why I spent some time today to actually see if I could get this thing working. Now, the first thing that you need to do is in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up an app I've got to help me to express the tasks and the issues and so on that I had along the way. So I need to make sure that I can go onto that app. I'll just go into my training app, training notes, because that's where I keep my notes in relation to this. So that's just going to fire up here, and I think it's actually the top item. So I'll be able to just have a little quick look at that, and then we'll be able to run down the issues. So the first issue that I had was that well, you have to have the July 2020 edition of Power BI. So I'm just going to jump onto this. You've got to have the 2020 version of July 2020 version of Power BI. That's the first thing that you need to do. The second thing that you need to do is when you do have that, you need to make sure you go to File, then you need to go to Options and Settings, then you need to go to Options, and there's two things that you need to do in here for this to work properly. So we are going to make a change so that we have we've got some privacy, and do this always ignore privacy level settings. You can always change it back when you're finished. I think it just stops you having to kind of click a few things as it goes through. But also this is really, really important, because this piece here, if you don't have stored data sets using enhanced metadata format, then in fact this thing won't show properly. So I'm just going to untick it here and click OK. In fact, it needs to do a restart, so I'm not going to bother doing that. But what you'll find is if you don't, then this thing will be grayed out. So I'm going to go to Options and Settings and make sure that's actually enabled for me. So those were important points. There's actually more points than this, unfortunately. So if I go to Preview Features, make sure that's ticked on, okay, and that was fine. The other thing that you need to make sure is in fact, I will go back to the to my list. The location of the saved files. Well, the external tools So I'm going to show you my external tools folder. I think if I just do this, it might actually get me there. Let's just see what happens. Oh, it did get there, but I didn't want to show it like that. I want to show you using Explorer. So jump in there, go onto there, external tools. Now you may find that you don't actually have this to begin with. I don't know what it's doing. So you may not have this particular I mean, I didn't even have Power BI desktop. What I did was I downloaded the latest version of DAX Studio. And then when I did that, it actually brought in this DAX Studio pbit tool. So you can see that this one is the one that Mark did. And then this is one that I did, because, you know, why not? So if you look at the one that I did, because this is the Noddy version, and I'm going to open it, edit with Notepad++, you'll be able to see that it is made up of a few things. It's got a version, it's got a name, it's got a description, you've got the path, but notice that the path actually has the C backslash instead of just a straight backslash. And also, what I had a bit of fun here, and I put my own image into the Power BI report here. So if you actually look on external tools, you can actually see my face there. Not funny. And I will show you how to do that, but I won't do that just yet. So one of the things that Mark makes available to you is his actual tool. And if I kind of click on the edit, then this is the tool, and it's actually a path to PowerShell, and then it does sort of some of the gobbledygook here. And he's obviously got his icon here as well, which is this particular image here. So let's carry on down the issues. They weren't the only issues that I faced. So the other issue is that that my system, well, you have to have admin rights to your system in order to be able to do this, but you have to actually run a PowerShell script. Now the PowerShell, I'm just going into Windows PowerShell, into Cortana. I just typed in PowerShell and then brought this up. Now what you need to do is I need to go onto the I need to go on to I need to kill this, apologies, and I just need to make sure I'm on the right screen. And it's not that one either. In fact, I think I've come off the screen that I intended to go onto, and I'm just going to come off this and go and see if I can get onto there, and which I can. Okay, so we've done the bit where you have to have a number of tick boxes available. PowerShell needs to enable the user to have a high level of admin access onto their own machine. So what I had to do is I firstly ran this script. This is just a confirmation of what access I have. Okay, well, okay, well, I had to run through this routine. I am going to pause it here because this was actually quite important. So I'm just going to do a little, I will jump back any second now. So in fact, that was a bit of a schoolboy error there, because actually it should have read as follows: get execution policy list. And what that says is the current user is unrestricted. Now that means it's actually okay for me to do it. But what I had to do was I had to run this script here, set execution policy. Going to go back onto there, and I had to run this policy, and then I had an option to say yes. It won't actually do anything for me because I've already set that policy, and that meant that the scripts could run as required. So that's really important. But just I believe it's a sort of slightly dangerous thing to do as well. So you can actually send it back the other way is if you just change the script as follows and then do yes, and then that's you done. Now I do actually need it to be set as unrestricted, so I'll just click that and then I'm away. And that was kind of one of the hardest things, certainly for me, to do. So I'm just going to go back onto there. So you need the latest version of DAX Studio. You do need this ctemp folder. You definitely need this this piece here, which is, well, roundabout like this. Apologies. But that's the piece, C program files, etc, etc, etc. So you do need that, and so we'll now we'll have a look further through, and so we untick the box on privacy, and I'll show you how you actually get your own image into something. So what I actually did was I was just goofing around, and I wanted to get my own image into something. So essentially, if you want a base 64 version of your of something, then what you can do is you can kind of click on it like this, and you can click open. Now you've got to be careful, it has to be less than 1 meg, and then if you click show code, then what you find is you've actually got this code here. Copy it to the clipboard, and then if I go put on Notepad, we can see that I've actually created the code that I wanted to create. It's just it's going to take a while to fire its way in, but that is that image. If I wanted that image in my Power BI report, I would need to take this script, I'd need to enclose it in quotes, and then I would need to put it into the I'll just show you the structure of this this document. So these documents they're relatively easy to read. If I do edit with Notepad++, that bit there is where the image is, but you can see that there's only a small number of things that you need to look at. So once you've done all that, then that means that in your Power BI report you should be good to go. In fact, that's not the one I wanted, that's the final version. That means that in your Power BI report you should be able to run the routine where you click the document model and away you go, and off it goes. And as I say, what I did was on this Notepad thing, I thought, well, do you know what, I'll give it a go. I'll just see if I can put my own like hyperlink in here, and I put my image in. That was easy. And then if you click on it, what you'll find, it says it doesn't exist, create it, and I'm going to press no, and it actually, the purpose of this one is actually to fire up Notepad. So if I close Notepad down and then I click it on again, what you'll find is it fires up Notepad for me. So that was that. But it is really, really important for us to be able to document our models. I will jump back to the Power BI report, because what we get here is really astonishing. I mean, this is all just, you just get it given to you, so I'll be honest with you, it's more complex as a Power BI report than I would ordinarily put together. There are lots of interesting links between the various tables, but look, this is something, it works. And then once it does work, all you need to do is you need to do file and then save as, and then it's just a Power BI report at that. You can't refresh it in the normal way, but it is a pretty cool way of being able to document your Power BI models. So all that remains is for me to say thank you to Mark for putting this together. This is like a really cool effort. I'm kind of guessing he probably didn't do it on his own. There was other people involved, but we all get here, you know, by raising each other up. And Mark's done that in this case for me, and I hope for you guys. If you want to see more content like this, please make sure you hit the subscribe. And if you want to be notified, make sure you hit the notify bell icon. And I'll be putting content out like this every time I find something new that's cool. See you again soon. Bye.